What is up, everyone?
What it do? Man, this is that was pretty epic intro there.
Yeah.
That lobby music was like got me going hardcore. We got a new logo and stuff, man. It's pretty legit.
So first off, let's give our best friend, producer, badass I was gonna say motherfucker, but then that just sounded wrong, and I don't want to have that kind of explicit language. But I want to thank Edson on
Oh
all
man,
his hard work. I mean that is sharp looking.
Edson,
So
we're forever in your debt, buddy.
yes.
Some good stuff, man.
Um,
This is also the first time that we're seeing all this too. So
oh, I didn't even
pretty
realize
nice.
Brutus was right in the screen because
Yeah.
I have it up on my I have it right up on the TV.
It's a guest star today. So
Yeah.
man. So anybody else's bracket get busted these playoffs? Because that was just
Everybody.
Boy, I'm extremely happy about this. This is awesome. Like I would
So
have never guessed it, but this is awesome.
I guess since we're already talking about it, I do want to throw something before we get too much into our Dynamo stuff. Is this what MLS would have wanted? I mean, I would think in a perfect world, MLS would have wanted Atlanta and LAFC in the MLS final.
But then they can also have the next best thing, have it in Seattle. Those tickets sold out instantly.
Yeah, did you see how much nosebleeds are going for in the resale? They're upwards of $300.
Oh man,
for nosebleeds.
That's like upper bowl opened, right? Like
yeah, that is
open?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
World Series Game 2 pricing.
Man, that is crazy. That's pretty cool. I mean, hey, Seattle deserves it. Obviously, I mean, they hosted an MLS Cup, but they didn't have their team in it. It was back in neutral grounds. Yes. So RSL in LA. They still packed the house, but still, man, like, it's kind of like a dream. I mean, it's a dream for them. New ownership and stuff.
Can we officially say that all these MLS haters and doubters, can we finally just tell them to shut their mouths? Honestly,
about what?
About how bad MLS really is.
I mean, well,
hold on. But just look at the competition in general. These two teams had no right to be in the final. If you looked at midway through the season, both Seattle and Toronto were not looking all that hot going into the All-Star break. Toronto turns it on. They won 13 of their last games. I mean, I don't know, dude. I'm excited for it.
No, I mean, yeah, both teams are going in pretty hot. They both obviously had huge road wins in the conference finals to get the MLS Cup.
Yes.
And that's why I'm like, okay, who's going to win it now? Because, I mean, I put my pick on Seattle, but, they're both on fire right now. They just went in and knocked out, like, everybody's picks, Atlanta and LAFC, and both of them were on the road. So that's pretty impressive.
I agree.
It was pretty entertaining. MLS defenses are still not great. I do agree with this.
Well, yeah, they're not, but it's, and I had this discussion with somebody at work the other day, which they're not really an MLS fan, but they have watched. And, we were talking about how they compared to the different leagues around the world. And I told him, I said, MLS is not known for having defense, but their counterattack and their attack is pretty decent. You go and look at like EPL, it's a very methodical style of play. It's not run and gun.
Yeah. I mean, I think that still separates us from the world because,
every league has its own type of play. So, I mean, do you really want it to be like England? Do you really want it to be like Germany? Or do you want it to be its own?
If we're going to be counterattacking, we need to be able to do it kind of like Mexico does. Because they counterattack against a lot of those international teams. And, man, they whoop some ass. As much as I hate to say it, but,
Swooshy, we're going to get into that, too. I totally meant to throw that out there because
there's been a few different things there, yeah.
Officially over Zlatan. But
well, good. You don't have to deal with them anymore.
But one thing I did want to throw out there is just the matches themselves during this playoff run. I mean, here I am, and everybody knows I'm a Union fan. And I'm sitting there, we're against the Red Bulls. We're down 3-1 going into halftime. And somehow we ended up coming back to win that game. And
first ever playoff win.
And talk about a rocking atmosphere. I mean, even when we were down 3-1, that place was not quiet. And then we go to Atlanta. We look decent in the first half, and then of course Atlanta did Atlanta things, but they did shut down Joseph Martinez too, who he had one goal, but other than that, he was not that good. So, and then there was that one, LAFC finally winning El Trafico.
Yeah, that was man, that one was a shootout. 8 goals scored in that one.
Dallas bombing out, because that's what Dallas does.
They didn't bomb out, man. They put up a fight. I mean, I was like, I can't remember what my picks were, man. I had Seattle beating them, just because fuck Dallas. But I can't remember what my scoreline was. I don't know. I was feeling pretty hyped when I was watching that New England game at first. I was like, oh man, they're holding them off. They might actually do this. And
New England could have won that game.
They could have. Yeah, so that's all I was saying. New England's different. So I mean, I still think next season we'll see what happens with them. But it's kind of getting ahead of myself. But
yeah. Before we get too deep into our conversation, be sure to check us out on all our social media. Our Facebook, the Peel05, Twitter, the Peel05. Our new Instagram, thanks to Edson again, the Peel05, and then obviously subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the video, share it, all that good stuff. We're gonna work on some stuff. We're probably gonna take another week off because, well, no, we're gonna do a show Monday, right?
We're gonna do Monday, yeah. Monday, a
Monday
show,
probably won't be a full show, like Josh said. Talk about MLS Cup final. Free agency starts next week, and then we'll probably take a break. Then get into, we still want to have Dynamo fans for change on, supporters groups. We've got a lot of stuff planned for the off season. So, yeah. So, Josh, what's the big Dynamo news in case anybody didn't know?
So yeah, the Dynamo actually, they got a new big player. Your name goes by Messi and stuff. They got a guy. His name's this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, it's Tab Ramos, man. I mean, this isn't we're kind of late to the coverage on this, but yeah, Tab Ramos coming out, and
well, they made it official yesterday.
It was official.
It was a horribly kept secret.
Ago. Yeah, they had a press conference for him, and a lot of stuff. I mean, it's impressive, man. It's U20 U.S. men's national team coach, and I mean, his name was kind of juggled around about the rumors. About him and being the next head coach and stuff. And I'm pretty excited about it. He was definitely one of my, definitely one of what I wanted to see, for a head coach. Now, I'm still under the impression that the budget's still going to be the same. As far as like the players go, they may increase it a little bit is what they're saying. We'll see what happens during the off season. But if what we were told, months ago in that meeting and what's coming out afterwards about them, really going after their youth players, I think they've got the perfect head coach in line. A lot of stuff that he had brought up in the press conference was about, nobody pretty much has a starting role. It's going to be a revolving door. If you got players from RGV that are worthy enough to go play for the Dynamo in his eyes, then he's going to let them come and play for them. Same goes for the academy players. If they look like they can play for the first team, then they'll earn it and they'll play for the first team.
As it should. It should never be. It should never be contract based. If you've got a $2 million guy, but this academy player's lighting it up, hell, give him minutes. And if he beats the $2 million guy out, that's what it is.
And that kind of, and obviously there's two different spectrums, but when Wilmer first came in, he kind of had a system, but he had depth to actually have these guys compete with each other on the field, for the starting spots. Yeah. And so the fact that Tab's not just gonna just have it on the bench and compete for the starting team because there's no competition, we don't get the most out of our players trying to stay in their starting role. He's going to go, further back and go to the academy that we're building and to RGV, and see about these players coming up. I mean, there's going to be a lot of competition going around. I think that's when we actually play a lot better. Yeah. So
now, be completely honest.
Yes, Edson, we know you've been saying that forever.
Did you honestly think the Dynamo would have made a splash the way they did on this head coach?
Yeah. No, I mean, look. This is a
Or do you
lot of
think it
stuff
was
came
finally
out
a
after.
breaking point? Like
Eh,
they had to do it.
I think they had to do it. They really had to do it. It kind of revitalized a lot of fans in my eyes. I still want to see what they're gonna do as far as like. I don't want to get my hopes too high, man, because like I did, like I said, I got burned before on it, and I was high on Wilmer. Obviously, like I said, they're two different completely different coaches. Um,
Well, if it makes you
I
feel any
just want to
better,
see what.
he's also out in Montreal too.
Yeah. He parted ways with Amari. Yeah, so he won himself a U.S. Open Cup, and then he won himself a Canadian Championship, and
And he found himself unemployed twice.
exactly, so um, yeah. So I mean, I'm excited. It's anytime your team gets a new head coach, and it's a pretty big one where MLS is actually starting to talk about it too. Um, it's pretty exciting, man. So I'm happy about it. I want to see what they're gonna do. I want to see what kind of off season transitions and trades they're gonna do, because apparently there's been a lot of talk and a lot of trades. I've heard rumors from like Darwin Quintero. I don't know if that's actually gonna happen or not, but
If I I have something about that, but Javier says we have excellent players down here playing for our Toros.
oh, no doubt.
Um,
I just don't think that
I think
when I don't think that they got a lot of consistency when they did come and play. Um,
it's
so
because
you got to get these kids into that competitive MLS role. MLS is,
yes,
it's different if you're affiliated team, for USL versus MLS. And so, I mean, there's a competition difference there. Um, except for some of those other USL teams that actually compete in US Open Cups.
yeah.
No,
I
I
think
mean, yeah, it's exciting.
long term we need to be successful at the senior level, but with a name like Tab Ramos and his connections to the U.S.
Yeah,
youth
yeah,
player pool, I see some moves coming into the Dynamo. Now,
I
don't
agree.
be surprised though if with all this talk about rebuilding the academy and you know players coming up and them not turning out players, but now they're dumping in money and all this other good stuff. Do not be surprised though if the Dynamo turn into something like the Union where you are mid-table for the next 2-3 years as you're churning out
I
talent
mean,
in the academy level.
honestly, that's better than what we were
It's better
sitting
not
at.
doing anything, yeah,
Yeah,
because the Dynamo
I want to
didn't
get
have an
there.
academy. You know,
Exactly, man. I mean, they didn't. Yeah, they pretty much had to rebuild the entire academy from the roots and stems. And Tab even mentioned in his press conference about how he wants to kind of tap out to the Latin community when dealing with with the Dynamo Academy, which hasn't been done, um, effectively at least. Uh, and actually, I mean, look, his resume with with the U20 squad is enough, alone for me to just be happy about that. Yeah, they're still going to try to make playoffs next year, and I don't know if they will or not. We'll see. It kind of depends on what they do during the offseason, in my opinion. But it kind of gives me a hope for a future a little bit. Uh, it, how's it? How am I gonna be approaching it in about 3 years, 3 seasons, 4 seasons? You know, are we gonna be are we gonna compete like our rivals down the road? Or are we gonna actually like, are we not gonna do anything with it?
so let me ask you this because you had brought it up before about Darwin Quintero. Okay, so we all know that the Dynamo don't spend a ton of money. Okay, I don't know how much he's currently making with Minnesota. Uh, but
I know that he's a DP for them.
so would you keep Manotas? I would still rather have Manotas over Quintero if you
I mean,
could
I
keep
would,
Manotas.
yeah, if you can keep Manotas, but there's also still, I mean, I guess he's still been linked uh, to Cruz Azul. Um, I mean, I haven't heard any update on that. I would love to see Mauro coached underneath Tab Ramos. I think it would be awesome.
I think it'd be good for his international career as well.
Absolutely.
'Cause he
I
hasn't
agree.
been getting the call ups he definitely well deserves with the Colombian
And
national team.
I know that Elise still has another season with us, and he wants to finish his contract with us. So he's still got a season with Elise too.
Why
Now
shouldn't
there's
that
still
rub
been
off on Kyoto the way Elise is?
well. I also want to say this too. They in that conference they talked about the players Mauro, Elise, and Kyoto. And how they're all still under contract and how they're important players. But Matt Jordan did also say that they're talking among the league about trades. I mean, if I mean, if we could get Kyoto out of here, man, I would be okay with that because it's just it's. I'm sorry, on the pitch he's great when he wants to be, but off the pitch, man, he's just kind of really.
He's and if you
He put a
follow him on
bad taste in
Instagram,
fans now.
he has been trying to live this footballer life without really kind of having a job right now. I mean, you've made a bad name for yourself, and if you want to make amends, then your ass shows up in training camp with the Houston Dynamo in January, beginning of February.
And that's what I'm excited to see with Tab actually holding these guys accountable, not being too nice. Because like if you actually look at Tab, like he actually looks like a very like serious, stern coach, which is obvious because he coached our U20s for so long. So I mean, it's it should be interesting, man, and I want to see what's going to come out of it. They've already announced the technical staff, two more of the technical staff, Pablo Mastroeni as assistant coach, who was coaching Colorado Rapids for 3 years that ended in 2017, and then excuse me if I mispronounce his name, Omid Namazi, was also assistant coach for the U20s with Tab Ramos. So so a lot of experience there, coming in for our coaching staff now, and he's gonna have a lot of backup on behind him. So it's I guess you can't really say too much because it's almost kind of like it's like you expected it, but now we got it, and now I'm like, oh crap, like how is this actually going to affect us? Because I'll admit I was back in 2014, my naive self was all like, oh my god, we got Eric Kubo Torres, and oh my god, we got DeMarcus Beasley. This is MLS Cup for us now, and nothing out of that, So
And I'm trying to pull up something real quick.
But yeah, no, I mean it's like I said, man, it's exciting times. So I mean, our chat room needs to get a little bit more active with us here. I don't know what how you guys feel about it.
So what do y'all think about the Mastroeni and Amazi? Like, from what you guys hear from the background that they come from.
A lot of experience. Sorry, our producer was asking us what we thought about Namazi and Pablo Mastroeni. I'm a little bit more I guess gun ho on the assistant coach side for Namazi because like man, he's got a lot of coaching experience, like a lot throughout the years. But granted, he's only been with like clubs 3 years at the max. He's juggled around. We were talking off the air about how he his first coaching a team was 3 years from 99 to 2002, the Philadelphia Kicks, the indoor, the major league, the major indoor soccer league.
Yep.
So that was I thought that was a little funny. But no, I mean, yeah, it's a lot of experience coming on there as far as our technical staff. I mean, it's an overhaul like a straight up overhaul for our coaching staff.
Swishy wants to know, was Tab really pissed at U.S. Soccer? Can we read between the lines here about his exit from the U.S.? Honestly, I do. I think there is a systemic problem from the top down of U.S. Soccer, and I think Tab really just is done with it. The pay-to-play system screws over players. The way they bring talent in and out, it's not. U.S. Soccer has an issue, and I don't think anybody with any common sense wants to be a part of it, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, you know, it kind of it's defeating when it comes to our national squad. But I'm also one of those people that say I'm sadly I'm club over country. Yeah, I am one of those. I've said it back then, and I'll say it today. I would much rather enjoy H-Town and Dynamo win an MLS Cup final. See, and I say that, but I'm like, I already know that USA will fucking not get a World Cup title. I mean, not at least while I'm existing.
Not unless there is a change from the top down.
But it's not going to change.
It's not going to happen probably in our lifetime. Sadly, not right now.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that it's more realistic. But I mean, I honestly think, yeah, he's pissed. You know, he stated that wasn't an option about him going to be the U.S. head coach. Instead, they got Greg Berhalter. You know, I mean, obviously he's not going to come out and say.
Pause you real quick on a totally different topic real quick because it just popped up on my Twitter feed. Ottawa Fury FC is ceasing operations for the next season.
Dang, so. That's a Charlie Ward's club. Am I correct?
Yep.
Dang, man. Dang. I'm hoping that Swishy is actually backing me up on this at this point. Club way over country. Yeah, let's go. You know. Yeah, no, I don't like how the U.S. Soccer Federation is actually going about their operations, which is not new. You know, kind of went away when they were just like, all right, Jurgen, we made such a huge deal about you coming over and spending all this money and being our head coach, and then we just fire you.
So going back to Tab, Josh, what is your way too early expectations going into 2020? I want to realistic.
Realistically, I want to see what Bruce, like, kind of what he's doing, like Bruce Arena's doing with New England. Man, I want to, like, you know, be the underdog and actually win these games. You know, he addressed the road issue. Obviously, you know, it's talk right now, but you know, whenever he's going to treat the road games like they're home games. So. That gets us some results because you obviously need it in the league at the moment. You know, you need it. Yeah, you obviously
you have to now. Like we had talked after the last game of the season. The way MLS is going, you have to win road games, and whether you have a positive road record or not, you can't win one and make the playoffs.
So my way early expectations. I still got to see what trades happen. You know, because apparently that's definitely going to happen, but my way to early expectations is just make playoffs. Just get into the playoffs. That's it, man. You know,
wild card or top 3?
I would love top 3, but I would say they're a wild card team. Especially at first, you know, I don't see, like, it's a lot of changes going on. At first, it could really affect how they start the season. But again, that's early expectation. You know, it's early predictions. I mean, I don't know what they're going to end up doing as far as, like, players go. I mean, I know that there's been a lot of trade rumors. Which, if y'all know some trade rumors, man, post them in the chat right here, because I've only seen the Darwin.
You're opening the door to the most oddball trade rumors.
Hey, it's silly season, man, for a reason.
Kubo Torres back to the Houston Dynamo.
No, God, no, man.
Tijuana's wondering if there's a return policy.
They're done with them now.
I mean, it could be like Costco. We have an amazing return policy. If you're ever unhappy with your products, you can bring it back.
Let's see. World Cup qualifying goes on next year. Yeah, if he wants to make Mexico squad, he might try to come over here and play well for us. Yeah, Gignac. There you go. Edson. I mean, don't like just pull on heartstrings like that. You know, give us some realistic stuff. Like, you know, I mean, Messi or something, right?
Gignac to the Dynamo. Sorry, Edson, not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's happening in your FIFA. Well, our FIFA is actually, you know, made of real people. And
real quick, guys.
It's not overrated and released every year. Actually, wait. I mean, it kind of is.
Real quick, guys. Be sure to like the video, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, subscribe to our channel, share it, like it, all that good stuff. I know we've been a little distant, but again, why does it always come back to personal life shit?
Them holidays, man, them holiday hours.
That's neither here nor there. Or your apartment raising your rent $200 and having to move. So
yeah.
But where was I going with this? Next topic.
We are back. Topic? Yes, we're back. You know, and we will do another one on Monday as well and stuff, and then we'll probably, like you said, take some time off again. So, well, I mean, it's off season, you know. I mean, there's not really a whole lot going on besides, you know, we wanted to do a show, obviously, because Tab Ramos was hired on, you know. So, I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
Okay, well, how about we do this? Each show we'll break down a position. Talk about players we want to out, we want more from, all that good stuff. Well, this week,
why don't we start one right now?
Yeah. Let's start with our forwards. Right now, pending any contract moves, Manotas, Ramirez, Elise, Pena, and technically Kyoto is a forward, and technically he still is under contract. Players that you're expecting more from, players you expect to leave, players you're happy with, underperformed.
Oh, I mean, I expect, honestly, I expect more from, as much as I love him, you know, I expect more from Mario still, you know. We saw, like, man, he's really, really good. You know, he's such a damn good player. You know, I mean, the solo goal against Toronto was just phenomenal, man.
Oh, I forgot one. Nico Henson. I forgot him too.
Would you count him as a forward?
He is listed on the Dynamo's roster as a forward.
Okay. I would. I want to see more of. I want to see. I mean, if he stays with us, I want to see more Mario. You know, and I want to see an improvement on him. Be more consistent with it. But also kind of have that you know, that hot fire, because obviously you still got Christian Ramirez too. You know, who says that Tab Ramos plays both of them up top? You know, I mean, they're going to go to like a 4-3-3 system more than likely is what he was, you know, expecting out of this.
I honestly, I would appreciate whatever Tab does, but if Tab watches the game tape on the last 3 matches, there's no way that you don't go with a 2-striker formation. I mean, you can't.
But they might do an overhaul to the team where they actually build to perform like that. I mean, look, there's a lot of stuff going on still, you know. I mean, as I said, we just trade just within MLS, you know, get someone outside.
And I don't know how exciting that makes me, or excited, of making moves within MLS. I think the way MLS is structured, you're better off. Granted, the outlier is Christian Ramirez because he came in and made an impact.
I don't want sloppy seconds, essentially, in MLS. You know, because this whole Darwin Quintero, would he be good for the squad? Maybe a couple years ago. But he hasn't really played much, man, with Minnesota as of late this season. And he kind of fell off a little bit. He's a DP for them. So, I mean, how much do we really want him? I mean, would he fit into the system with us? Or is he going to play? Is he going to play? Is he going to be our 10 for, Tomas? Is he going to play out on the wing? I mean, because he played wing with Minnesota.
Yeah.
So, and then kind of going to Elise a little bit. I obviously I still want improvement from him. He started showing up late in the season, but man, the frustrations on the field, that can't go. I mean, the red card.
No.
He kind of moved on a little bit from that, but it's kind of like we joke around, one too many touches at least. Like,
yeah, and I think, I mean, if you look at the way Ramirez and even Manotas, well, Manotas sometimes has that issue where he takes way too many touches when he should just settle and shoot, or instead of trying to be fancy with it. Elise, if he wants to stay at this high caliber level, he needs to do it. And his way too many touches has cost him numerous goals playing for the Honduran team. So if this is something where he wants to stay on an international stage, get looks from Europe, he's going to have to break out of that sooner rather than later.
I mean, expect him. If this is his final contract and he wants to finish his season with the Dynamo, there's probably a reason why, and it's okay. Well, let me go ham this last season, so that way I can get some more notice, from other international teams. And according to Matt Jordan, there's been international good clubs, inquiring about Albert Elise and Mara Manotas, and so if we even get to see them, next year, I mean, it's just you got to fill in the backcourt a little bit, man. And obviously Christian Ramirez, he's a lock-in for me next season. For obvious reasons, we only had him for, was it less than half the season?
Less than that.
Yeah, less than that. So not long at all. So definitely
he only played. I'm looking at it right now. He was in the squad for 10 matches.
Yeah, and then the connections with him and Tab, he probably still has some connections there.
Yeah, I think
from playing Jose.
I do think Tab is going to ask a lot more of Christian because of who Christian is. Like you said, as he should. Christian has been one of these players now where he's bounced around the two teams. This is his third, where he's had so much promise and hasn't really did. Now, granted,
but now
in LAFC he wasn't getting minutes.
Yeah, he wasn't getting minutes. And here he's going to get minutes. He is going to get minutes. So that's kind of the enjoying part about it, is that it's, I see him kind of embracing Houston a lot, in the Dynamo, and kind of setting himself up as a future leader, maybe, because we don't have a captain. That's obviously still going to be a discussion as well, because you need a leader in the locker room too. So and Boniak signed another year with us as well too. So I would lean on him at first, most likely for that. But overall, I think Christian. I mean, talking down the line, but Christian could be that future leader for you or whatnot. So kind of earn him. I don't know. I'm just excited for him to see what he does next season. So it's kind of like we got a solid striker, man.
So what's that game where you have to pick between three, between Nico Hansen, Ronaldo Pina, and Salazar, is he still under contract?
Yeah, it's in.
Producer.
It doesn't matter because I don't want him.
Between one of those three, Nico Henson, 22 years old, Ronaldo Pena, 22 years old, Salazar, 26. One you have to keep, one you have to send away, one gets loaned out to the Toros. Yeah, exactly. So what out of those three, where would your move be?
So one you're keeping, one's getting traded away, and then one's one's going to RGV. What, you can't put one on the bench, man? Why do we got to get rid of all of them?
Well, the one you keep would probably be on the bench.
Okay, so then I would say, send away Brian Salazar and
Michael Salazar.
Yeah, sorry, Michael Salazar. Sorry. Whoa. Yeah. It's kind of like who was it? Who was that one that we were? Alfonso Davies, Charlie Davies. And then Nico would probably send him on the bench, man. I still think there's untapped potential with Ronaldo Pena if he can stay healthy and get some minutes with the Dynamo. There was a small little little bit that popped out.
Pena would be the guy who comes up for Open Cup matches, is what you're saying. Start him in the Open Cup matches.
Sure. Yes. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
All right.
He doesn't earn himself a spot on the starting squad. Actually, none of those guys have earned themselves a spot on the starting squad. Damn, I can't talk. I've caught a case of the Justins.
Oh man. God. Well, that was a fun little exercise. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I've seen enough of Pena to say that he can even be a bench player for the Dynamo yet. Let me add emphasis on yet. Salazar, when the guy's 26 years old at this time, or at this point, he's better off being a sub somewhere else, and the Dynamo should focus on having a younger talent somewhere else on their roster, because you are forward heavy. They are forward heavy on the roster. And then Nico Hansen, excuse me. Yeah, he'd probably be my bench player.
Kind of just think of Umba.
I'm gonna forget that you ever said that.
That's all that's gonna be in your head now.
I would say keep him up because he's played other places. So,
by the way, if for some reason Nico Hansen actually does some stuff with the Dynamo next year, one of our shows is going to be the opening intro to.
Oh, no, I don't want it
to be Hansen.
I don't want it to get flagged, and I don't want them to have a copyright on our video.
I'm sure there's workarounds. Damn it.
Possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but kind of going back to Tab a little bit, man. I do want to point out his record with, as the U20 manager. It's actually pretty impressive. 61 matches, 36 wins, 7 draws, 18 losses. So it's impressive. He was a coach for them from 2012 to 2019, and in between that, he's had assistant coach positions. Before that, assistant coach positions on the actual main squad, senior U.S. squad with the Jurgen Klinsmann, not for long though. And then prior to that, he was assistant coach for U.S. U20. So, so he's got a pretty impressive resume and stuff, and there's. I want to see that translate over. But I don't know how much the ownership is really going to back him now, man. I just felt that Wilmer just didn't. Wilmer wasn't amazing. He obviously we needed him at the time we needed him, and now we don't need him anymore. Sadly, as bad as it sounds, but
he's
is he going to is the ownership going to give Tab Ramos more leash with the budget? I guess.
What's up, Jorge? And I'm looking through, since 2013, first year taking over. What was this? The CONCACAF Championship 2013. Loses to Mexico 3-1 in the finals, but he got to the final. Okay. Sorry,
but
go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. Nobody could read that, producer. Okay.
All right. Falls short in the 2013 World Cup, U20 World Cup. falls short in the group stage. Then in the 2015 CONCACAF Championship, made it to the qualification rounds. What is this? 2017, we win against Honduras in the final 5-3. Makes it to the quarterfinal in the U17 2017 U20 2017 World Cup. Quarterfinal loss to Venezuela 2-1. 2018 CONCACAF U20 Championship 2-0 win over Mexico. I mean, his track record's good. Now, granted, he doesn't go to the finals all the time, but the team shows up. Now, how does this transfer to MLS? Don't know. I mean, if you look, are we looking at another Berhalter type deal where he's way over his head in water? I'm not saying he is. Yeah. I'm hoping he's not. Because let's face it, Berhalter is not suited to be an international coach.
That's obvious too, and I think any pretty decent U.S. National team fan would know that. But with Todd Ramos, I mean, yeah, he has a great record, and I mean, we're talking about the youth squads, but we're also talking about international play versus MLS now. Where a lot of the
That's it. 18 losses is 61 matches.
Yeah, that's nice, man. That's impressive. I mean, they did a lot in World Cups, man. So no, I mean, it's kind of sets us up, a little bit better. Now you got your coach. Now you got to build for him.
I'm looking at somebody's score lines. They played U.S. Virgin Islands, who I guess have their own national team. 13-0. New Zealand U20 6-0. His biggest loss was their Netherlands, I think 5-3. They don't get blown out, so that's nice. So
I mean, defensive base. I mean, there's a lot of excitement with it. So I mean, yeah. So, but can we kind of move on to that MLS Cup as well now?
Yes.
You're like, oh,
get back on that.
By the way, I got Mbappe to play for the Dynamo free transfer on FIFA. Oh, okay. FIFA.
Wow, that would never happen. That will.
It's all right, man. I've had my fair share of players around shit for
first small rant, and then we can actually get into it. Why the hell is this game being played midday? All you have to do is compete against one game if this is a primetime game. All you have to do is compete against Sunday Night Football.
Well, because last year was on Saturday, right? And it's not like, I mean, it's not like they have to go against Seattle. Seattle's on the Seahawks is down the road, So, yeah, no, I really don't understand it. I was on Twitter a little while ago, and Macklemore was talking about how he's gonna have a concert and stuff, and it's gonna be at 10 a.m. in the morning.
And I'm so you can watch the final.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're gonna have a pregame stuff, so they're having a concert. Yeah, pregame stuff, and which is exciting, man. I would love to have an owner like that. Just like, man, I'm gonna play for you guys at my stadium.
I forgot he's free. I totally forgot that he is on.
Yeah, he's part of the ownership now. And then of course Russell Wilson too. And then his wife too, and some other people, man. I mean, that's a big ownership group, but for the fact that those tickets sold out so fast, man. Jeez, that stadium's gonna be packed, and I'm jealous. I really am jealous. It's like we can pack out our stadium. It's not nearly gonna be like that. Ever have that? That's a freaking football stadium, dude. So that atmosphere is gonna be crazy. I don't think MLS is a little butthurt about them hosting it and stuff. Obviously they're not gonna have LAFC versus Atlanta United in the final.
Prices are dropping.
Are they?
Nosebleed seats. If you want nosebleed one of the end zones there, end lines.
You can
get 185. Let's see. This is section 309. Mid pitch.
You're looking at
You're looking at 261 for nosebleed. That's.
We're having echo.
Let's see. 334 mid pitch, upper deck, 475. That's a little ridiculous.
We're having echo issues here.
Okay. What about now?
Hang on. I don't know yet. We're on delay, so.
Oh, wait. Now I'm hearing me.
Sorry, timeout, guys.
Oh, he's okay. Listening to his
video. I think we're fixed now. Yeah. So we got delayed. Okay, cool. All right, we're back. So no, I mean, I'm extremely jealous. What's your prediction on that game? Like,
oh, hold on, I'm looking real quick. MLS Cup final last year was held at 8:00 December 8th. Going wrong way. What day was that on? Yeah, so it was a Saturday, 8:00. So I don't understand why this game's not being played at that time. I do want to, Josh, stall for a second. I want to bring up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got to hold my mouth right there.
No, you're good. I'm going to look at their all-time record against each other.
So then I'm just going to go ahead and give my prediction.
Okay.
So, by the way, real quick about predictions, on Twitter, the Surge actually is posting, if you guess the score and the MLS Cup winner, retweet them, follow them, give their post a like. You have a chance to win a Memo Rodriguez signed secondary jersey, the new one that comes out next year. So I put on there 3-1 Seattle. Maybe I jumped the gun on that a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and jump it back to maybe 2-1 Seattle. I'm still gonna give them the win, but I think it's gonna be more. These guys have been off for a little bit now, so they got some rest in their legs. I don't see them coming out firing.
So a couple things. I like it. I like it a lot. I could totally see it happening. Going back to what you had said about the Surge, though, as I was packing up my place, I have plenty of things that I would like for us to give away next year that are signed by former Dynamo players. I've got a team scarf. I've got 2 soccer balls signed. So maybe we'll do 1 or 2 of those for a raffle to give, or like a fundraiser to give out to charity or something like that. But I do have plenty of those options for next year too, guys. So, as for the MLS Cup final, all time Seattle has 10 wins over Toronto. So 10-4-2. Or 10-2-4, depending on how you look at it. MLS does win, loss, draw.
May I point out that's all time, right?
Yes, all time.
That one of those wins for Toronto was MLS Cup final, and then one of those wins for Seattle was MLS Cup final.
Yes,
I'm excited for that rematch, man. I think it's pretty cool. It was kind of something that I didn't really know I wanted it that bad. I was like, oh man, why didn't I predict this? Because this is, to me, this is the next best thing. Yeah, this is the next best thing.
So, is this? I'm trying to think. That's right. This is back when it was a 2-legged series. No, that's regular season. Excuse me. The way it was broken down on this chart was just weird. Is this the most 2 teams have played each other in an MLS Cup final? 3 times?
Dang, that's a good question. I actually have not
I don't know.
looked that up. Dang, okay. If any
I'm
of
gonna
y'all
have to
know
look
off the
that
top
up
of your
after
head,
the show.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I actually really want to know it like now. I want to say no, but I could be wrong on that one. Um,
Because Dynamo played LA twice, right? But it wasn't for a final both times.
Dynamo played, yeah, they played twice against LA. Mhm.
Okay.
And then they played twice against New England, and those ones they won.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
now, with that being said, too, there's only been 5 teams that won the MLS Cup final more than 2 times, or 2 times or more.
Look at Josh dropping knowledge.
Sorry, thank you MLS Soccer for posting
Right.
that. DC United, LA Galaxy, Houston Dynamo, the San Jose Earthquakes.
Well, before I
And
give my pick,
Kansas City.
before I give my pick, why don't you go ahead and dive into that because you're telling me about that in the
All
group
right.
chat.
Yeah, so it's funny because you're talking about how all of these uh now I can hear an echo on my end.
Yep.
Um Justin, I think that's coming from you. All right, thank you.
That's next.
All right. So no, but we were talking about how on Twitter, all these fans for I'm hearing it again.
It's not me.
Oh,
There we go.
all right. So all these fans were coming out talking about how the San Jose Earthquakes titles that they won, they also should have had the Houston Dynamo titles as well because we bought the team and then they win the titles, the next 2 years while San Jose wasn't around because they moved, relocated the franchise before they brought it back to San Jose in 2008. So, they were only without a team for 2 years. But my argument is that, like, okay, one, that y'all didn't have a team. 2, they were wearing orange and they were repping Houston. So, we ended up winning those cups and they go down as 2 Houston Dynamo Cups. So, I think these San Jose Earthquake fans are kind of petty about it now, man. And
Salty.
honestly, let it go too. God, let it go. You know?
All right. So we got about what was that 6 minutes left, something like that. So I'll go ahead and give mine. I do think it's going to go back to pens. I don't see it not going to extra time. Just because of how strong these two teams have finished out the season, I don't think any of them are ready to roll over and die yet. So I'm gonna say 2-2 going into penalties, and then I think Toronto wins it in penalties in Seattle.
Okay, so I like your prediction. Can we do bold prediction? I just want to get
Bold
mine.
prediction? Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
I hate
So
bold
this
predictions.
is my bold prediction. All right. So it's 0-0 all the way through the entire game up until penalties. Right. Will Bruin is put in at some point in extra time, and Toronto actually wins the MLS Cup final because Will Bruin misses.
Bruins it.
He Bruins it. And Will Bruin will go 0-3 in MLS Cup final appearances. All right, done.
So I know Chad Marshall hung it up. Is he's not playing in this game, right? Because I know he retired at the end of the year.
I think no, he hasn't been playing with them. No,
Okay.
they're solid. Romain Torres, man,
Yeah.
still doing work for them and stuff, And
Does Jordan
Raul
Morris show up?
Or Raul Rodriguez. You see where my head is. Raul Ruiz.
Does Jordan Morris show up?
Man, yeah, I say he shows up. He scores a goal. He didn't score one for, against LA, but I say he shows up. Honestly, I'm gonna put all my bets on like Nico Ladero doing it for them. Just my regular prediction: 2-1 Seattle. And they don't even go to extra time. They end it early. And it's Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nico Ladero that does it.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us this week. talked MLS Cup final, talked Dynamo's
Tab
mind-boggling
Ramos.
hire. I mean, I didn't expect it.
You didn't
all.
expect it, man?
I didn't expect them to
what
sign
did you
him.
expect? What did you expect?
I didn't honestly. I thought they were going to go after some like mid-tier guy.
It was perfect. It was perfect timing because it's just like what you said. You know, like, do you think he was really mad at U.S. Soccer? And yeah, he probably could. Yeah, that. I mean, obviously MLS wasn't out of the question for him, but you know, clearly he's not going to get to that U.S. men's national team coach.
I wonder if he held on just long enough to see if, okay, well, I'm definitely not getting the head coaching job for the senior team.
Well, he was. I'm sure that he was trying to get it when they needed
to be completely honest, he should be the senior team coach. And the Dynamo should not have had a chance to hire him because he should be the U.S. men's national team coach. But that's an argument for another day. Let's see. Jorge says 3-1 TFC wins. Ooh.
I'm not against it.
No, and it's funny because
I'm not gonna say much because like my bracket got busted. Just
nobody really knows what to expect from this game because these teams had no shot halfway through the season on making it to this game. Edson says 2-1 at the death. Sounders. Ooh, I could see that too. I think regardless, this game's not going to be won the first 30 minutes. It's going to come down to the final 20.
I hope it's not won in the first, 30 minutes because like those games are snooze fests afterwards. It's like you win it early and they
pause, because the way MLS is gone, did the Red Bulls? I mean, I guarantee you the Red Bulls thought they had that game in the bag.
Touche. I was kind of more referring to like the Portland Timbers game back in the day. When they played against Columbus and like they scored like their first 2 goals in the first like 3 to 5 minutes of the game and like that was it.
Jorge, it's all good. We all have husband duties and it sucks.
No worries, man. We're gonna have this one loaded up on a podcast as well, so you didn't really miss much except for just us, obviously going over Tab Ramos hire. Yes. We're gonna do a show again on Monday. We're gonna do a short one, just to kind of cover MLS Cup final again. So
yep. What was I gonna say? But I don't know. This overall, this season has been one of the craziest seasons that I've watched in a while. I mean, you had Atlanta who started in MLS play. They weren't that good midway through the season.
They were terrible at the beginning, yeah.
Toronto, who was a dumpster fire at the beginning of the season.
Yep.
Seattle, who did Seattle things where they coasted all season, made it to the playoffs. Now look, they're in a final. You had the 2 powerhouses crash out of the playoffs.
Especially LAFC, man. Like Seattle put it on them.
You have Zlatan FC, who looked like shit the final couple games of the season.
Hey, not just him. Wayne Rooney's last game ended in a 5-1 rout to Toronto. It was just annihilated with an extra time.
As much as I know you hate SKC, who would have thought KC would have been one of the worst teams in the league this year?
They were, but they started turning around a little bit late in the season. I mean, okay, they had a mediocre season, yeah. That was actually extremely pleasing to me.
Orlando decided to be the Orlando that I think everybody knows they are now. I'm just going to go through real quick. Like you have
Minnesota
who shocked everybody late in the season.
Yep.
The Revolution, who shocked everybody after the All-Star break.
Yep.
I mean, they've been the laughing stock of the league for the last 4 years, and made it to the playoffs. Red Bulls did Red Bull things. NYCFC did. I don't think anybody expected them to be that bad. You have Colorado, which was an up and down year. You had RSL, that was an up and down year. Vancouver is trash. What else? Dallas.
Trash.
You had Dallas, who they rode the middle of the table all year, snuck into the playoffs. Chicago Fire, which
conference was super tight for a while there, man.
You have Chicago, who still has a bunch of question marks, but end up having an okay-ish year compared to last year or the year before.
Year before, what are you talking about? Year before they were.
Oh no, year before is the year they had the
Yeah.
horrible year.
No, the year before they had an amazing season. They were up there with us. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who else? I know I'm missing out or missing some teams. Portland. Portland was probably. I didn't know what to make of Portland this year.
You gotta give Portland a break because they were a good team, but they started off all road games.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was like they didn't have their first home game until like June or July, because they had the stadium. They had the stadium expansion.
Can we also give San Jose the 2019 Mediocrity Award? I feel like they are just a mediocre team that's going to always be mediocre.
But they were doing good stuff though, man.
They're like the Tennessee Titans of MLS.
They were doing good stuff. Dang.
Columbus, which huge question marks there still.
Well, Darlington Nagbe being traded over there, and
that's going to help them.
It's like the biggest Garber Bucks trade in MLS history is what they're saying. I don't know the numbers,
but yeah, man, just for anybody that hates MLS, but you know, the people that tune into this show that love MLS for what it is, man, talk it up, because this year it's just another one. It's not the same 4 teams making it to the playoffs every year. It's not,
and then also one more thing too. I saw that CBS and Univision have earned the rights for the UEFA Champions League games.
Oh, thank God. Because
TNT, yeah.
Bleacher Report irritates me.
Yeah. So.
But CBS, you know why? Because they don't cover any games right now. They don't cover cover MLS. They don't cover EPL. They don't cover anything.
Yeah. Yep. And you get into they're trying to tap into that soccer market.
Yep. Because it's all been NBC or Fox Sports and ESPN.
Yep.
And Univision. So, well, guys, like us, follow us on Twitter, the Peel05, Facebook, the Peel05, Instagram, the Peel05. Subscribe to our channel, like the video. I'm gonna hope that I have the podcast up tomorrow. Hopefully, I don't have to stay too late at work, and I can do it before I go out tomorrow. If not, it's gonna be up late tomorrow night. Hopefully, I'm not drunk, because that's a great possibility. I'm doing I'm going to this fundraiser event for the cook-off team I'm a part of. So I failed to mention that to you.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess that's going to do it for me. Josh, you got anything else?
That's it, man.
All right. Yes. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Check us out Monday. Hopefully we have a very good final to talk about. And that's it.
All right, guys.
The Peel out.
Peel out.
Forever Orange.
Forever Orange.